Hello everyone and welcome to my corner of the world. I have a fancy fold or a fun fold to share with you today, and this is a center step card, and basically it will fit into an envelope, a regular envelope, but then when you stand it up, it stands up like that, so you can see that you've kind of got the steps here, and there's the front of it. So the key to this is putting your folds and your cuts in the right place. And so we're going to be using the paper trimmer, and we're going to use both the cutter as well as the scoring tool. So the cutter is the dark grey and the light grey for the scoring tool. And I want to point something out to you. Can you just see these little marks here, the slits on the edge of the blades? There's one on both blades. There you go. Now that is exactly where the cutting or the scoring blade is. So we're going to be using that to line up for our cuts and scores. So we're going to start with a piece of cardstock, which is 11 by 4 1/4. Now I have already cut and scored that just to make it quicker, but I am going to demonstrate how to do it. So what you're going to do is you're going to open up your cutter, and you're going to put this edge of your paper against the 1-inch mark up here, like that. And with your cutting tool, you're going to line that little mark up with the 1-inch on your ruler, and you're going to pull it down until you get to 6 1/2. So that's your first cut, and that will give you this piece here. Then you're going to flip it over, and you're going to repeat. So you're going to place that at the 1-inch, put your trimming blade, cutting blade, line up with the 1-inch mark and the little mark on here, and you're going to draw it down to the 6 1/2. And so that's when you get these two pieces here. Okay, so then you want to make sure you move your blade out of the way, your cutting blade, and bring in your scoring blade. And then we're going to do some scoring. Now, my first two scores are at the end of the cut, so that's like 1 inch up, and they are just on these two sort of leggy pieces. So again, you're just going to pop your cardstock in and line it up at the 1-inch here, and then use your blade, and you can bring it down to the 1-inch mark, and then take the pressure off and bring it down to the cut line. Line the little notch here up with your cut line, and press and put in your first set of scores. Then you're going to move this along to the to the 2-inch mark, and you're going to put a score line in on the two outer pieces, and you're going to just bring it up to the 1-inch mark here, then take the pressure off, bring it down, and then line the little notch up with the cut and do your second score line there. Next, we're going to move this along to the 5 1/2 inch mark. And this time we're going to score between the two cuts. So again, I'm lining up my notches with the cuts, and I've got pressure, and I'm going to bring it down to where the notch lines up with my second cut here. And then my final one is to line this up at 6 1/2. Move this across. And we're going to score at 6 1/2 on the two outer parts. So we're just going to, again, put pressure on and bring it down to the notch, down to the the cut, lift the pressure off, and down to the second cut and run it off like that. Now, as to the measurements, you don't need to remember them, because if you follow the link below this video, you'll find a link to my blog, and the information will be in there. So now we're going to put in the folds. So the top folds are just going to be mounting folds, and you are just folding that, and it's just at the top of the cut. So you just want to bring that in like that, making sure this centerpiece doesn't fold. Then you're going to take the centerpiece, and at the fold that you have here, you're going to fold it as a mounting and just gently give it a pinch. And then you're going to move down, and these next two again are going to be mounting folds. Sorry, I told a lie. They're going to be valley folds, but that's fine. And then these are going to be the mounting folds. So you'll want to just put each one in gently, so that you're not stressing out this part and this part of your cardstock. So I'm easing those in gently, and then I'm going to make sure that the two pieces line up at the bottom, and then with my bone folder, I'm just going to push those up to the top like that, and then I'm going to put these folds in down here. And there we have our center step. And that's the fun fold. So now we're just going to decorate it up. So I've used Daffodil Delight, and for my panels, I'm using cinnamon cider. I think that's the right way around. And each of these pieces have been run through the embossing machine with the Dainty Diamond embossing folder. And this one really is, it's true to its word. It is very, very dainty, and it does give a really pretty picture. So then what I'm going to do is, there's three lengths, and let me just see, one of them is slightly shorter. This is the shorter one by 1/8 of an inch, and that's the bit that goes along the bottom. So we're going to stick those on. I'm going to use liquid glue, and I think I've explained many times that I really do prefer to use it, because it does give me some wiggle room when I put it on my card base. It's not to everybody's taste. It does take a few moments for it to dry, but I don't mind. So I'm just centering these pieces up on the panels that are visible. Like that. And then our final panel is in the middle. And that's going to center on that center panel there. So, there we go. So that's what it looks like when you've got it, or that part assembled. Now I have an inside piece, and this, I know this is 4 by 4 1/4. So it's not a square, despite the fact it looks like it. So you just got to make sure you get it the right way round. And again, I'm just going to pop that on with some liquid adhesive. Now, there's not a lot of stamping on this card. But what stamping I have done is using the prized Peony stamp set, and I've used this on my two inside pieces. And my greeting, I'm doing love and thanks to a dear friend. So that's what I'm doing there. And I have used Daffodil Delight ink to do that. So now that that bit's done, I am also using this card to feature one of the gorgeous peonies from the Peony dies. Now I do have a video, and I'll put a link on my website to it on how to assemble the flower. But basically what I've done is I've cut it, I've kind of smooshed it to give it some light, I've sponged it with crushed curry. Oh no, I use crushed curry ink, not Daffodil Delight, I apologize. And I've assembled it, and as I say, my video explains how that works. I've got a couple of some dimensionals on the back. Now I have stuck the leaves on there, and to make sure that they don't fly off or get loose in any way, is I've actually used a little bit of parcel tape, a little bit of Scotch tape. We call it sellotape in the UK, but this is Scotch tape. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on my card. And what I want to make sure is it doesn't go outside the footprint of the card, but I do want it to kind of be over the center panel, if I'm making myself clear. It'll be clear now that I've done that. Can you see it goes over the center panel, but it doesn't actually go over the outside of the card. So if you look at it from the back, we can still see a leaf poking out, but it's not outside the footprint, as I call it, of the card. And my greeting, I have used 2 punches for this one. I stamped again in the crushed curry on white, and I cut this one out with the Label Me Fancy punch. And then I've layered it onto a piece of Daffodil Delight with the Timeless label punch. Now these are beautiful punches. They make lovely, one makes a lovely background for the other. And I'm going to put it over the little gap there that's between those 2 panels. And then I have a bow made out of the Daffodil Delight Roost ribbon. This is 1/4 inch. And again, if you check on my blog or on my YouTube channel, I have got videos on how to create, how I create bows. Everybody does them differently, and this is just how I create them. And I'm just popping that on with a glue dot, and then just a couple of pearls. So I'm using my pick your tool, and these are great. If you don't have one of these, you need to think about getting it, because it's so easy to pick up and put your embellishments down. And then I have my envelope that I've stamped as well. And there we are, a center step fun fold or fancy fold card. Well, I do hope you've enjoyed this. I certainly have enjoyed sharing it with you, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.